Let's face it, every once in a while in business, you're going to have to raise your prices. And hopefully you can do it in a way that upsets the fewest amount of customers. But there are 4 ways that I can say, 4 justifications that you have as a business owner, and you owe it to yourself, to change or to raise your prices. The first thing that comes to mind is when you're trying to determine your role in the marketplace. Are you a small, medium, or large? What do you mean, Brian? Are you entering the marketplace as a discount seller, as a mid-range seller, as a high-end seller, or as a luxury seller? If you don't know where you are in the marketplace, it is going to be hard to dial into your target consumer, your avatar. So in order for you to determine if you're charging too little or too much, you might want to adjust your prices up or down to see what the market does. That's rule number 1, to increase your prices. Number 2, one of the ways that you want to increase your price is simple. If you have an increase in your cost of goods sold, the raw ingredients that you utilize to sell your products have increased. Your costs are higher, so your margins are lower. You have to pass those costs on to the end consumer. Simple and put, right? Number 3. This is the one I love the most. This is the time when you actually add more value to the service offerings. So you used to have a widget, and that widget was a 1.0. Now you got widget 2.0. But widget 2.0 has more features. It has better technology. It's better looking. It has more colors. It has all of these things that are advances over the first widget. So reasonably, understandably, it's going to cost more. So you are justified in charging more because now you're adding more value to your customer. Number 4. This one is interesting too, and I want you to stick with me for a moment. But this is when you have customers on top of customers on top of customers, and you're booked out for weeks in advance. This is a situation that I believe is a bad situation. Why do I say that? I say that because you may be booked out weeks in advance simply because you're not charging enough. See, what you want to do is you want to have the right parity between the amount that you charge and the service level that you provide. Sometimes if the service level is really high and the amount that you charge is really low, that's why you get booked out. So when I see a person who's booked out months in advance and they're booked every single day, I don't think to myself, you have a successful business. I think to myself, you're not charging enough. And what you want to do is you want to charge more, and some customers are not going to pay it, but some customers will. And the customers that will pay it are the people who are dedicated to your brand. And the people who are dedicated to your brand, now that the herd has been thinned, are going to get better service. So the way that you get better service, and I know it sounds counterintuitive, is to raise your prices. When you raise your prices, you're not going to have as many bookings, but you're going to have more time. More time to think, more time to plan, more time to strategize, and most importantly, more time to give your customer the best service possible. Because when you're booked out, let's be very honest, when you got customer after customer after customer, your mind really isn't in the focus. You're not focused on that particular customer in front of you. Your mind is thinking about the 10 other customers that you got for the rest of the day, or the ones that you got for the rest of the week. And you realize that you can't take a break. So now, instead of your business serving you, now you're serving your business. Instead of your business giving you freedom, now your business has become a burden, and now it's like being in a jail cell. So let me give them to you really quick again. First reason why you want to raise your prices is because you're determining where you are in the marketplace. Are you a discount seller, mid-range seller, high-end seller, or a luxury seller? Number 2, your increase has come in terms of your cost of goods sold. You are increased in terms of the raw ingredients that go into your business. If your expenses go up, you have to pass that cost on to the consumer unless you want to make less margins. Now, that's entirely up to you, but at some point, those margins have to be maintained because you have a budget, you got a fiscal year, you got things that you have to do, and you have forecasted based on the margins you had set before. Number 3, which I believe is my favorite, the best reason, the best justification, in my humble opinion, to raise a price is because you're adding more value. This is the best way to do it. You are doing more and the customer is getting more, so therefore they have to pay more. And do you remember what I said again? It's all about making sure that the cost of the service and the value of the service are the same. What you provide the consumer and what the consumer pays, there needs to be parity, because when one of those is out of whack, that's when we get problems. And that leads us to number 4. If you have a service offering that's really high, but you have a price that's really low, you're going to be super busy. Because these guys are thinking, oh my goodness, this is the best deal ever, and he's the best at what he does. But you're really shooting yourself in the foot as an entrepreneur. You're really hurting yourself, because what you're ultimately doing is you're stealing from each customer ever so slightly, because you're not giving them the best service possible. Go ahead and raise your prices. Thin the herd. Some people are going to be offended. Some people are going to leave, but that's okay, because those that stay are the people that are dedicated to your brand. And that's what you're building. You're not building a business, you're building a brand. And the people that are dedicated to your brand are willing to pay your price. Now that you have less customers willing to pay you more, you still make the same money, but you don't have to spend as much time going from customer to customer to customer. Now you can spend the time, the quality time that you want to spend on each customer. And I guarantee your reviews are going to go out the wazoo. My name is Brian Keith. Thank you for listening.